Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Otaku Octagon podcast. I'm here with my co host, David, and I'm your host, Maui. Welcome back to another new episode. Please follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to come over to the YouTube so you can check us out here if you want to get a little visual and enjoy the show. What's up, man?
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing much, nothing much.
I'm actually pretty busy all day today, honestly.
What you been up to?
Renovations for the house.
Yeah,
I've made a closet, tore down a wall.
tore down a wall, made a closet.
Yeah, I've been pretty busy. You inspired me with
I inspired.
I
Yeah,
had to, do some of my own renovations.
Yeah.
Feel me?
I'm having problems. Not necessarily finishing the room, but I'm having problems with buying things because I don't have shelves yet. So now shit's just sitting on the floor. Like I have, like it's off camera, but like all my Legos, all my Star Wars Legos that I built are all sitting on the floor in the corner. I got a bunch of anime stuff, and then I went to Box Lunch yesterday, and I picked up some things. I got this little Sasuke.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
well, little Sasuke cuz.
Like a little keychain.
Yeah, so this one's a magnet.
Okay.
This one's I got two that aren't a magnet, but I got Pakuru from Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one's an actual keychain. This Spike Spiegel, of course, you know how to get this one. So these are from those little packs that you get, those little mystery packs where you can get like different ones. I just bought like a bunch of them, and I got Old Boy from the Cowboy Bebop show.
Oh, one of the announcers from the
the announcers.
The Bounty
Yeah.
show.
Yeah, I had to get Kurapika.
Kurapika, now that's
Kurapika.
like that.
I was trying to get Killua. I was trying to get Killua, Sasuke, and Spike Spiegel, but I ended up getting two Sasuke, Spike Spiegel, and Kurapika. So I have to go back and get another Killua, or try to get Killua. You never know. But yeah, I mean
What's this new angle?
Camera's
different.
Yeah, I know. Everybody's probably going to be seeing my eyes going different ways on YouTube because I'm not used to this anymore right now. I need to figure out how to put my camera, but I got two monitors over the weekend. Instead of just using my laptop now, I can get those two monitors, and then whenever you sell me your PC, I'll be fully set up. So, but yeah, my camera's all the way up here. So.
So you're going to be a part of the PC Master Race.
No, I'm still going to play on my Xbox.
I'm sorry. Sorry, what?
I actually mounted my Xbox on the wall. It looks lit. The no cable whole thing. It looks pretty cool. It's pretty dope.
Oh, you actually mounted the whole Xbox?
Yeah. So there's a bracket that's like it sits like this, and you put your Xbox in it on the wall. And yeah, and it's cool. When you come down here in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to check it out. But I mean, the room's coming together, man. I mean,
you got to get a full 360 when you're done.
Yeah, I'm a try to maybe do a blog thing, and maybe do a blog thing and show everybody, everything that's going on. Block out some things that are probably not YouTube friendly, but
yeah, probably a good idea.
Actually, I don't have any waifus or goblins in the corner, so I think
that's okay.
Yeah,
that sounds good. It sounds like you really got it coming along. I'm pretty far behind when it comes to my own renovations.
I mean, you just started though.
I just started like last week, so I got at least another month or two.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You watching anything new, or you continue? I know we was talking about Gundam. How you liking it?
So I have been watching Gundam, and I do not call it Gundam because you know how
Iron Blood Orphan.
I only call it Iron Blooded Orphans.
Exactly. Absolutely, that's right.
That show is good. Guys, listen here. If you haven't watched Iron Blooded Orphan because it does have that whole Gundam in front of it, don't let the whole mecha thing fool you. This show is actually a good show. Outside of even the mecha fights, even the Gundam fights, they're beautiful to watch. But the talking, like the actual political side of the show, like the immaturity that the kids show at one time, and then maturity that show at another time, it's amazing. It's an amazing watch, honestly. So if you haven't checked it out, I'm watching it on a site. But do you know where they can watch it, like Netflix or anything like that?
Yeah, so it still is on Netflix.
Okay, so it's on Netflix.
So I put it on every once in a while when I'm going to bed because, like I said, it's one of those anime where I can kind of just sit there and close my eyes and I know exactly what's happening because, I mean, hell, you try to tell me about it all the time. And you're like, what's the girl's name? And I'm like, Kudelia Ina Bernstein.
I didn't even attempt to try to
say it. Kudelia Ina Bernstein. I know exactly.
But I know people like Orgus. You got
Orga.
You got Orgus. It's
Orga.
Orgas.
No, Orga.
Look here, I've been reading subtitles, and they definitely say.
Go ahead, look it up. Look it up.
I'll check. We'll look at.
Okay.
It. Yeah, Orgus. You got or Orga, and you also got Mika. Mika, that's my favorite guy.
Mikazuki. Yeah.
Like so, last episode of our channel, I did say I like Orga more. I definitely starting to like Mika a little bit more. He's more of a badass, like an undercover badass.
Yeah.
So that's been pretty beautiful. But how about yourself? You been watching anything?
Yeah, so I'm big on the Netflix animes. I know a lot of people trash them, and we'll get into it in a little bit. But I just recently watched something called Vampire in a Garden. Yeah, so Vampire in a Garden, it's like a 5-part or 4-part series, which essentially is about like it's a human race and the vampire race are at war. And this little girl, she's like a part of the army, but she doesn't want to be in the war anymore. She doesn't want to fight. She doesn't want to do anything. And she ends up meeting the vampire queen, who also doesn't want to be a part of the vampires. And they kind of just go on this journey. And I mean, the whole thing, it's supposed to be like, it says season 1 and there's like 5 episodes, but I mean, it's a movie. Like, it's a straight up movie. But it's actually like really good. I sat there, I think it was like Friday night, and it just came out last week on Netflix, but sat there Friday night and I watched all 5 parts. I think it's like maybe 25 minutes an episode, but
it's 5 parts.
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 parts.
Well, when I finish my first season, I'm going to watch that then. Just binge it real quick.
Yeah, so it's like a 4 or 5 part episode series. But at the end of it, when you finish it, you're like, that was a fucking movie. That was not a show. That was a whole movie. It's
when it comes to that.
It's really good. It has some sad moments to it. It's a little depressing, but then it also balances it out with good action and like good vampire versus human fighting and so on and so forth. It's a little bloody. We know how Netflix likes to do it, right? But other than that, I mean, I've been finishing up Vinland Saga. I know I've been kind of slow on that trail there, but working on this and
are you juggling animes?
Oh, I juggle anime all the time. Oh. I use my anime list. I know exactly where I'm at. I know exactly what's going on. So
it's really hard for me to like juggle older and I mean, if it's an anime that's currently playing, I can watch those because you just watch a new episode as they come out. But if it's something that's like come out in the past, it's harder to like watch them all. So it's like easier when you use the things like Crunchyroll, what was formerly known as Funimation, and definitely Netflix because it actually keeps your pacing. But if you're using other sites, that's really, really hard to do.
No, I'm mostly just using Netflix, and then I'll use Crunchyroll if I'm in the anime room here or if I'm in the game. I jump back and forth. I watch what piques my interest. Like I haven't watched Vinland Saga in like a week. And I just watched like 3 episodes today because I was feeling Vinland Saga, I got this like $600 Heathen War axe that I had handmade for me, like Viking battle axe. And I picked it up to see where I wanted to put it in my room. And I was like, you know what? I want to watch some Vinland Saga.
So I went back. Like you want to see something Viking related.
But I want to get into a topic here about Netflix anime. I know a lot of people like to trash it. They say it's trash, and I think it's a spectrum. It's definitely a spectrum. There are some like God Eater and so on and so forth where they kind of just don't really sit well. But I know you've I know you've seen a few Netflix anime, and I want to get into a couple too. Kind of give them a little review so people out there won't just look like even new anime goers and new anime watchers or people just haven't watched Netflix anime will at least give it a try. I already talked about Vampire in Garden. 110 out of 10. Would fucking recommend. It's really good. It's just easy. It's easy. It's not something you have to put all your time into.
It's 5 episodes. Of course.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
a whole. It's like start to finish. It ended.
And that's something that's just like that's what I like about Netflix anime is they're very easy. The way they're putting some of them out though, I can criticize, but most of the time Netflix animes are just easy. It's easy to follow. It's easy to like, especially for new anime watchers. I definitely would recommend starting on Netflix and then going to like Crunchyroll and so on and so forth and going to like those deep hardcore One Piece, Naruto, thousands of episodes shit. You know what I'm saying? So
One Piece is on Netflix, so let's calm down.
Oh, part of One Piece. No.
I mean, it's the digestible amount.
Like 500 episodes is on Netflix right now.
The first quarter of it.
The first, I'm not. So, Well, what's one of your give us a review. One of your favorite Netflix animes.
Um, let's see here. So let me first start by saying I'm not a big Netflix anime fan,
Yeah, that's me.
solely because Netflix doesn't have all the animes
Right.
that I do love to watch, but it
Of
does
course.
have some pretty good titles. As I've already mentioned, Netflix is a great place to binge animes
Right.
because Netflix has pretty much mastered the format of the platform that they use to watch their shows.
Right.
So whenever I do hop on Netflix to watch shows, first off, Beastars, have you ever seen that?
I watched maybe like the first two episodes, but it didn't really like intrigue me. That's why I said it's like a spectrum. I either hate it or I fucking love it on Netflix. So I mean,
I
tell me
watched
about
it.
it.
I watched it because people were talking about it. So
Yeah,
I was like, okay, let me check it out.
I've seen it a
And
lot. Yeah,
one, if you're into Beast, what's it called?
let's not go there. Let's not do that. Let's
If
not, let's
if you
not do
like
let's
animals,
animal
if you really
stuff,
like animals,
animal
then
things, animal
then you would really like
beasts.
Beastars. Um, so
Yikes!
Beastars
It's a
is
bad way to start off.
essentially a world. Have you ever seen Zootopia?
Absolutely,
So Beastars is Zootopia.
fucking banger of a
You're
movie.
watching an anime version of Zootopia that is rated TV mature.
Bunny and Fox. Absolutely.
There's no Bunny and Fox. Let's calm down. Now the Fox has had thoughts from time to time about
Right,
doing what the bunnies do, but
right.
up to this point, no, there's no Bunny and Fox. But it's a TV mature version of
Makes sense. Yeah.
Zootopia. It's a pretty good storyline. You follow the story of the fox. He's kind
Right.
of he's the main character of the show. He's not like what you would think of. I
Mhm.
don't. He may not even be a fox. He may
Like a
be
wolf?
a coyote or a wolf or something like that. He's of the dog breed somewhere in there. So like
He's a canine.
He's a canine.
He's a canine.
Just not a dog. I just know he's not a dog because his friend is a
Right.
dog. And
Right.
his friends are also other species of the canine variety. So
Right.
that's like their group. And then there's another, I believe maybe a coyote, wolf, or something like that, who a female who likes him. So everyone expects them to get together because they're the same animal. So
Right.
people would expect, oh, same animal, they have to be together. But he's been looking at this bunny in this kind of way, like, I wonder what them
Trying
cheeks
to-
do.
I'm trying to give me a piece.
Let me see that bunny hop. You feel me? So and she's known to be a freak.
Oh Lord. Is this really oh God.
So she's known to be a freak. So
She's known.
she's known
She's for the streets. She's
in
for
the
the
show. She's known.
she's for the streets. Got
And
it.
he likes her. And honestly, he likes her. And it's a show about watching this K9 awkwardly maneuver his way into maybe a relationship,
Into
maybe
bunny
just
cheeks.
getting some cheeks. So it's a pretty good show. I watched the first season. I
That's
watched
funny.
first half of the second season. I haven't finished this yet, but I do
Yeah.
have it on my list to finish.
Okay.
Do you have?
That doesn't yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. I think I'll skip the bestiality for now.
I understand, and
Okay.
it's not necessarily. I don't necessarily like it for the bestiality, and it's
I
not
mean,
really bestiality in it.
yeah.
It's not a etchy. It's not a
I've
no.
watched Goblin Slayer, so I can watch some pretty fucked up shit.
but
But
it's
yeah, I got
it's
you.
more of navigating the
Yeah,
24, 25-year-old.
I got you. I got you. Yeah. So I'll say one of the hands down banger animes on fucking Netflix that I've watched countless times is Castlevania. Yeah, go ahead. Write this down. Take note. Castlevania. Hands down, Castlevania. Now the reason why
Please tell me.
is Castlevania. Have you ever seen Castlevania?
No, I have not seen Castlevania.
I know Yordi
I've
was
seen
watching it.
Castlevania.
Yeah, I know she was watching it.
So please tell me why you believe this is an absolute banger.
So I think this is an absolute banger, not only just for the storyline, but the action in itself and kind of what the journey has to go off. So for a Netflix anime, being that as a spectrum, right? You have like the really shitty ones that have like terrible animation and just kind of like one or twosies. This one has like 5 seasons of just nonstop action and just a lot more to it. So basically, the premise of Castlevania is in the beginning, there's Vlad Dracula Tepes, right? Dracula himself. Hopefully, everybody knows who Dracula is, right? He's essentially ruling over the place, Transylvania, ruling over everywhere, like everything. But at the same time, he's kind of not. He just lives there. People just stay the fuck away from him. He ends up falling in love with Lisa Tepes, his wife, and she ends up getting, let's see, not to really ruin it, but I kind of have to say it, but she ends up getting killed. Let's just say that. She ends up getting killed. And Dracula pretty much tells everybody of the world, everybody of the town and all the surrounding towns, he came down in a pillar of fire and said, I will give you 1 year to make penance. I will give you 1 year to ask me for forgiveness. If not, I will unleash hell's armies against the world and kill all humans on the planet.
So they actually
no, because this is like, so this is like, right, these are human beings, right? This is like 10th century Catholicism where the church controls everything, and they're like, we will not do what the devil tells us to do. It's a trick and blah, blah, blah. So, 1 year later, right, shoot your own dick off. 1 year later, put a quarter in your ass, you played yourself. They said, fuck it. They're celebrating the day that his wife died 1 year later. Yeah.
What?
And then, so he's like, okay, understood. I gave you 1 year and now I'll rain fire and blood upon you forever. And I will kill all of the humans. So he pretty much unleashes this army of demons. And this show's pretty fucking bloody too. It's pretty fucked up. Like there's a part where this demon's like walking through a ravine and like people are like looking at it, like kind of reconning it. And it has like a whole ass baby in its mouth, like just dead. Like it's fucked up. Like, but then it follows the path of Dracula is kind of the whole big problem, but it follows the path of Trevor Belmont. Trevor Belmont is kind of like Van Helsing, right? He's kind of like a Van Helsing. His family is monster hunters, vampire hunters, whatever you want to call it. And he pretty much just has everything in his like arsenal to defeat monsters, vampires, so on and so forth. But he's the last of the Belmonts. His family's completely died off. They were all killed, so on and so forth. Well, he meets a girl that he falls in love with. She's like a mage. She's like I forgot what they call them. They're like truth seekers or walkers or something like that. I don't know, but they're like priests. But he meets her, and then they kind of just go on this journey to defeat Dracula, defeat his monsters. And Dracula like has armies of generals of vampires, like Nordic vampires. I mean, like,
so one question: who's the bad guy?
So the bad guy is technically the antagonist, I will say, not the bad guy, because I'm not going to get into were they wrong, right? Because we could have talked about Vlad in our last episode of were they wrong, but is technically Dracula. And the only reason why is because it's kind of like the whole thing where we were saying, if Madara were to do that here, just because I agree with him, would I not fight him? So it's kind of like if Vlad is killing, if the human beings killed Vlad, Dracula's wife here on this planet, I would have a problem with that. I'd be like, she obviously wasn't doing anything. They called her a witch because she was studying science and healing people. So you know what happens to witches.
They did kill her.
Absolutely.
It's their fault.
Absolutely.
So they deserve this.
They burnt her at the stake.
Oh, they deserve them.
Yeah. So, but he's killing every single human on the planet. And if he was here, I would agree, but I would fight him. Now, I will say that, like, I don't think he's wrong for doing what he does. Most people don't particularly like the human race anyways.
Do the same exact thing.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, hands down. Absolutely. But what I'm saying, just the whole premise of this whole show, it's like really good. There's like a good storyline, not just action. Normally shows like this would just be about the action. But it has a good storyline, a good like following. You can follow them kind of in character development. And then meet one character. His name is Alucard. He's actually my favorite character in the whole fucking show. He's Dracula's son. He had a son with Lisa Tepes. He has this whole sword where he controls it, like telepathy, or not what is it? I don't know what it's called, but where he can control it in the air without touch, like the Force, right? And he fights with his hands and with his sword right next to him, facing up people like all around him and shit, and like without even touching his sword, and it's fucking lit. But I think that's probably one of the best. They just came out with the new season like maybe a month or two ago, or yeah, it was a little bit over a month or two, but
yeah, like
pretty.
I said, my wife saw it and it looked really pretty. And I
Oh
have
yeah,
a thing for pretty animes. If the eyes are too pretty, I'm not watching. If your eyes are way too pretty, I'm not watching. Outside of Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, because his eyes, they pretty as
yeah,
hell.
yeah.
But that's just kind of my thing. And Dracula looked more like it was more geared towards like a love and
Not at all.
people getting over it. But apparently it's a lot more action than
Not at all. It's
so
fucking
she enjoyed it. And I wasn't really expecting that. But definitely I'm gonna check it out. I mean, if
yeah.
it's
I
more
mean,
action,
the action's pretty good. Yeah. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I'll say with Netflix, it's either like put up or shut up. I mean, and their shit, and as you know, their shit is like really bloody, and so this one is like super fucking bloody. Like it's out of this world bloody. But it definitely has a lot of twists and turns. I will say there are some like oh shit moments, like oh that's what's going on, or oh that's what happened, you know. So I think that's probably one of my favorite. And we're gonna get down to a few. I'm gonna go over a few more that are definitely contenders, just because I think Netflix, the really good animes are probably some of the best animes that anybody could watch. Like even if they're just basic, you know, just basic non-anime lovers, just people that like good TV. You know what I'm saying?
and we're just talking about just the Netflix original. Like
Oh
Netflix
yeah.
has
Oh,
anime
they have everything. Yeah.
that's been playing like animes that have been come out, but Netflix also has animes
Right.
that it's created. Like they're Netflix original animes. Like I don't like I've said, I don't really watch a lot of Netflix animes. But my wife, she does like Netflix animes. They're easy and she
Right.
loves convenience. Another show she's watched Carol and Tuesday. I'm not going to front like I've seen a lot of the show, but from what I've seen, they're both musicians. One sings, I believe. One plays a musical instrument. It's a really beautiful animation.
Right.
I've looked at the animation, obviously from her watching it. Beautiful animation.
Right.
It had beautiful like choreography when it came to the concerts that I saw that was playing. So I guess these two, they meet each other. They're young girls, probably like 15, 16, 17 years old. They meet each other. They decide to work with each other to become pretty much pop stars. So they start auditioning. You're going to see a lot of performances from other musician groups, singers, bands and whatnot. So if you like music, if you like beautiful choreography, if you like beautiful animation, definitely something for you to watch. That goes for both my male and my female audience. If you are a male who just likes to watch those beautiful animes, you like a slice of life anime, maybe, then this is definitely a title to watch. I'm going to watch it eventually. I have a lot of anime. I have a lot of anime on my list, and I moved Iron Blood Orphans to the top of my list.
Yeah.
And there are other shows that I'm watching that I have put to the side right now, so I can finish this. So I will get to it. So don't say, oh, you're not watching it, so why would I watch it? No, I will watch the show because it is beautiful. And I do like slice of life animes from time to time. So if you do like music, definitely a watch for you.
So I'll give you a good, beautiful anime here. It's a movie. It's not a show, but it's a Netflix original anime movie. It's beautiful, but it has like not action, but action. So it's kind of like it's like a sporty anime. So it's called Bubble. So it's a new movie that just came out on Netflix. It's called Bubble. I didn't know exactly what it was, but it looked kind of cool because I saw these kids doing like parkour and shit.
I think I saw that on a video.
Yeah, so they were doing like high speed parkour, and I was like, I'm gonna watch it. So essentially, this movie, and it's really good. I mean, really good anime, beautiful animation, beautiful choreography, like beautiful music, everything like that. But it balances it out with its like, I guess, coolness. I wouldn't say action. Nobody's fighting or anything, right? Or technically. So essentially, Japan or the entire world gets like this entire world bubbles start falling, right, on this entire world. Like just these random bubbles. Like imagine God is blowing bubbles on the planet, right? and like bubbles start falling on the planet, it starts creating like the more the bubbles piled up, obviously bubbles are liquid, bubbles are water. It starts flooding, and it starts like flooding the earth, flooding everywhere, and then eventually the bubbles stop around parts of the earth. But in Japan, it gets worse, and especially around this one particular city in Japan, where once the bubble stopped, a giant bubble kind of just amassed over the top of this city. The city was put on like alert or put on restrictions so people couldn't go there. But teenage boys and teenage girls would start sneaking in there and living their life there because there's no adults, there's no jobs, you don't have to do anything. You have the run of the city. You could do whatever you want. So yeah, so they ended up. So what?
No, go ahead. I definitely saw the trailer for this.
Yeah, so what they did is they ended up started creating their own sport game. It's like a parkour race. So everything in this bubble city or whatever, there's like things that are floating, there's things that are on the ground. Like the gravity is kind of different, but not for human bodies, which I thought was kind of weird. But like sometimes cars will be floating in the air, and sometimes like rocks will be floating, like formations of rocks and stuff. So each one of these kids have essentially created a team. There's like 5 different teams that race and do parkour races down a specific lane or specific alley to reach a flag. And once they capture the flag, they win. And that's how they trade goods back and forth. Whoever wins takes like a gallon of gasoline from this one person. And the cool part is these things are actually these races are being live streamed to the outside world. Because they've gained so much popularity that people in the outside world are starting to sponsor these races. So they're sending like food, they're sending supplies, they're sending things into the bubble area so the kids can eat, right? And without spoiling it a little bit, there's this one kid, the main character of the show, the movie. He's like really good. He's like one of the best like bubble racers. He has like a not like a mental illness, but he has like a hearing disease. That's not necessarily he's deaf. He has overactive eardrums, so he hears a lot of like noises he doesn't want to hear. Well, the bubbles actually emit a song. It's like boom, 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 boom. Like, and he can hear these bubbles. He can hear where things are going to be when they're going to be there. Like it's kind of like ear Sharingan. Like he can see things happen or hear things happen before it happens. So that's why he's really good at jumping on these structures, and like he's super fast and everything like that. Well, he ends up meeting a girl. Well, I'm not gonna tell you where she's from. She's an anomaly. Let's just say that. So he ends up meeting this girl who's an anomaly. Ends up falling in love. They both fall in love, and then the bubbles start happening again. Calamity. They got to find a way out. I'm not gonna ruin it, but it's really good because the action is like the races. That is the action part, but it's really well done. I mean, it's really choreographed really well. The fighting, and I'm doing air quotes for my audio listeners, but the fighting where they're kind of like battling each other. It's kind of because it's like a sport anime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really well done. And I think the storyline flows really well, especially for me, because I'm not the type to really like sports animes. Like I don't like, Haikyuu and like these other like, volleyball, basketball. I'm not really into those. But for this one to be technically a sport anime movie, because it's like parkour, I think it's really well done. And I definitely recommend watching it. It's probably like an hour and some change long. It's a really good movie. And my son likes it. So
sounds interesting. Definitely something I will definitely watch with my daughter. Or
yeah. It's definitely one. It's definitely family friendly. Out of all the animes on Netflix that aren't, this one's definitely family friendly. It's really beautiful, nice music, beautiful music, stuff like that. So you could definitely watch it with your kids if you're thinking about watching it. So
love that you mentioned the anime on Netflix that are not for children.
No, there's a lot. There's a lot.
At all. But no, honestly, that Bubble show does sound interesting. It's a movie. You said it's about an hour and some change long.
Yep.
I'll definitely watch it with my daughter. I try to get her into anime. She tries to go against it. She wants to watch not Netflix, but Disney and Nickelodeon and stuff like that.
And she's
okay.
8. What do you expect?
She's okay. She'll get over.
Yeah, like.
But anyway,
she'll be fine. She'll get into it eventually if you raise her
right. But for the anime on Netflix that are not for children, there's actually 2 that come in mind, but the one I want to bring up first is actually an anime called Kakaguri.
Kakagure.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this one.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
So
Oh my God.
it's a slice of life. It's a slice of life. It's a slice of life.
Nah, is it though?
Yeah, it's slice of life. There's no fighting. You know, there's no people killing each
Lord.
other. Nothing like that. This is definitely a show anime for our older viewers, of course. There's gambling. There is gambling in this anime. A
Not
lot
to
of
talk about the
gambling.
fact that she comes every time
That,
she.
that, 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 that,
Okay. Okay.
a
Hey.
lot of
Hey.
gambling.
My bad. Okay.
So
Good. You got it.
let's
You got
calm
it.
down. Did she come? Did she come though?
Yes.
We don't know.
Yes.
She could have lied.
Absolutely.
You know,
No.
they lied.
Mm.
But anywho, so this high school, oddly, I believe it's a high school.
It
Could
is
be
a high school. It is a high school.
But this high school, it's a gambling high school. So to pretty much, I've never seen anybody go to class in this high school, so I don't know what exactly that they're doing.
It's a statistics. So it's like a statistics and gambling school.
Yeah.
So like they learn all about statistics. They learn about like probabilities, equations, bullshit like that, and then all they do is gamble.
Reading? No. Read the
no.
rules to the game. Okay.
If you can win money off somebody, what do you need?
What do you need science for? What
do you need to read for?
Right? What is that? What's that for? But anyway, the school is a gambling school.
Yep.
So they gamble. The hierarchy of the school is pretty much how much money you have. If you make a lot of money because you win a lot, then you have more money. If you're just rich and you have a lot of money, then
you're popular.
Yeah, that's who you are. The people who have money, they're the haves, and the people who do not have money because they lost a lot or they're just poor, they're the have-nots. And in order, so they have created a system. It's a slave system. Let's be honest. It's a slave system. If you owe money to someone, you can work that debt off essentially by becoming a slave to that person. You don't even have to be a slave. You can just be the have-nots in which you're just less than everyone else. So that's cool too. But the main character, let's talk about the main character. So the main character, she loves to gamble. And
she does.
She does. She is really good at it. And because of how good she's at it, she gets excited. It's really excited.
How excited? Please tell the viewers. How excited does she get?
She foams at the mouth from the excitement.
She foams somewhere.
She foams at the mouth from the excitement.
Somewhere.
Her lips. But the whole purpose behind it is this young lady, she comes to the school, she already loves to gamble. She's leagues ahead of the rest of her classmates. She comes to the school as a nobody. No one knows who she is, and she gambles and she wins, and everyone hates her because she wins so much. She becomes the top of the top. She's willing to throw away all her money to win it all back again because it's fun. She loves the excitement from gambling. Not the winning. She can care less if she wins or lose. She loves the excitement, whether she wins or lose, just the sheer excitement. And I love this anime. It is a Netflix anime, oddly enough. It's definitely rated TV mature. But I do love this anime because the anime is about essentially how she navigates through this school, through these weird conditions of the school, and how I don't like the fact that you keep giving. That's why I keep not looking at you directly.
Hey, look.
Myself or down because these looks.
All right, let's let's address the elephant in the room. Everybody, she orgasms every time she wins money or does something that's like really smart or like tricks somebody or something that like is really good for her. She visually and auditorily, if that's even a word, orgasms. She gets
super excited.
I
won.
No,
yes,
that's like not. That. I challenge you to go to YouTube and look her up and watch what she does when she wins. Go ahead. You don't listen to him.
I mean, just watch the show. And if you don't like it because she's reacting too much.
If you're reacting too much, is that what you call it? Is that
she loves it. Maybe if you're as passionate as she is, then maybe you react that way.
I mean, I have 2 kids coming on the way. I think I know I have another kid, so
you react that way to your children.
I'd be like,
oh, you got an A. Yes. You don't do that.
Never. I would. That's.
Right. You must not feel the same way. She feels
Whatever FBI agent is watching us right now, I am so sorry. I do not know. I do not.
Wait, it's okay. It's understandable.
I mean, so for Netflix anime, yeah, I mean, it is a good one, but it kind of goes along the lines of sport anime. I didn't like Kagugure, and the only reason why is not because she gets excited too much, but like it's just poker, like, and that shit bothers me. The only anime I can say that I hands down love with zero action in it was No Game No Life. And I'm not gonna go into that.
That wasn't good.
I'm not gonna go into that anime. We'll probably talk about it in the future, but that's all about board games and like him and his sister, or they beat people by playing games with them. But other than that, like that goes along with the sport anime, and I'm not really like big into those sports animes.
Yeah, I get that, but I love the gamble, so that's probably why I connected to it. I do love the gamble. I do love to take risks and whatnot, and I love the fact that she's willing to take those risks. So that's why.
Is that what you love about her? That she takes
I love
risks?
the fact she draws me in.
She's a risk taker. She's a risk taker. So
anyway, go ahead. Your turn.
I only like animes on Netflix mainly because of the action, and I'm going to talk about one called Dota Dragon Blood. So Dota Dragon Blood is it's essentially about this guy who, how do I put it? So he, not really to ruin it, but it's about dragons. So there's multiple. This one is one of those ones that it's kind of hard to ruin. How to Train Your Dragon, but
it's kind of a name,
Yeah.
Dragon.
So it's about this guy who essentially like, I actually modeled my Elden Ring character after one of the characters in this, but it reminds me of The Witcher. So if you've ever watched the animated Witcher on Netflix, there's like a movie that's about The Witcher before Geralt was Geralt. He was like a little kid, but it reminds me of the animated Witcher. So it's about this guy who's essentially a dragon slayer. And there's this, or monster slayer, whatever you want to call it. And there's a group of them. There's a band of monster slayers who are like the Witchers. There's just a bunch of them, and they're all together. And he essentially is out there fighting for monsters, stuff like that. He runs across a dragon who's like one of the elder dragons, like the big ones, and ends up getting hurt. Somehow his blood gets mixed with the dragon. I'm not going to, like I said, it's really hard to talk about this one without ruining it. But he essentially is finding a way, because of his now new condition, to get rid of that condition. And it's really fucking bloody, kind of just like Castlevania. And he's essentially just this monster hunter, this dragon hunter, who's trying to find a way to stop a demon king who is coming to the earth to like destroy it. And he's trying to manipulate people and shit. But it's really good because there's a bunch of different like species. There's elves, there's humans, there's night creatures. There's like a bunch of different races, and he pretty much forms this band or this group that goes off and tries to find the answers that he needs in order to get rid of his condition and save the world, while kind of using the condition to save the world. I will say the storyline isn't all the way there. It's pretty straightforward. It's no twists or turns. There's no like, oh shit moments. It's more just like, this is some really good fucking action. I love the fighting. This shit's getting crazy. I think there's 2 seasons now. But that's really all I can say about it without ruining it, because like I said, it's a very simple anime. One thing, like I said, about Netflix animes that I really like is the fact that they are very straightforward. They're very easy to watch. You could watch it in like a day or 2. Maybe even just a day, depending on what anime it is. But if it's specifically a Netflix original, probably about a day or 2. But I would definitely look up Dota, D-O-T-A, Dragon's Blood, or Dragon Blood, or whatever you want to call it. Animation's pretty good. Everything's pretty good about it. I'll say his character reminds me of Guts. Kind of a Guts style character.
Yeah.
So it's definitely good. Have you seen Dota before, or maybe even seen a trailer or 2?
Remember, I was over at your place one time. You were watching.
Oh yeah.
You were finishing it off, so I did watch the end with you. It was pretty good from what I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it Chinese?
No.
Japanese.
No, it's definitely Japanese.
Definitely. Okay.
So it's original. So the one thing, and again about Netflix originals, is they come out specifically. So like most animes come out specifically OG Japanese, but you can switch it to English a lot of the time. You can do dub and sub. How you can do that for most Netflix animes, but they specifically come out in English first because majority of Netflix watchers speak English. That doesn't mean they don't speak another language, but they speak English. So a lot of the Netflix animes, but you can also watch it in Japanese. So it's not like it's original. Now some animes on Netflix, like it's OG Japanese, but with this one and a few other ones, it's mainly it comes out in English first because it's like an American-made anime.
Well, they have well, sometimes it probably depends on your where you are too, because
right.
we use Netflix US. They got Netflix Japan.
Yeah.
Animes. You can watch a lot if you move your location to Japan using whatever you choose to move your location.
NordVPN sponsor us. Sponsor us.
You will be able to actually watch Netflix animes. A lot of Netflix animes. Regular animes. One Piece. You can watch the whole One Piece. It's on Netflix if you use whatever device that is. So something to actually look into as well. But Netflix is really good, honestly. It probably looks at where you are and says, okay, you're in the US, so you're most likely speak English. So it's probably what it's doing for you. And then if you're like me, then you're like, don't just guess what I am, and then you put it back in Japanese because you're more animated.
How dare you?
How dare you? But no, if you're gonna bring up I do have action. Yeah, it was action. Have you ever seen Son of Zeus?
Yes, that is a good one.
It's a really good one. I liked it because of the plot. The plot was actually pretty good. It's kind of weird. It was I'm not gonna say the ending, but it was a lot left to be wanted from the ending, but how it began and how it was really good.
I'll say I don't dislike the plot and I don't like the plot. And the only reason why is it's still a great anime and I've seen it multiple times. It's because it's Greek mythology. It's been done so many times.
I mean, but that's who he is.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the son of Zeus, like in Hercules.
Let me start by saying the plot or the pretty much overview.
Everybody knows. Everybody will know. Not that I'm saying specifically what this plot is with Zeus having a kid. The kid doesn't know his powers. He comes into his powers in a traumatic situation. The other gods don't like him because they're like, he's not a real god. And then he proves himself to be a real god. And then he's like, that's like every.
It's a tried and true formula.
I mean, I never said I didn't like the show.
Was from Perseus.
He was Poseidon's son.
Hercules. He does it. Like, it's a tried and true formula.
I know, but that's what I'm saying I'm not saying that I don't like the anime. I love the anime. I've seen it multiple times, but I won't say it's like, oh, this is such a great one because of the plot, because that's not original. Okay. Like it's the same. Zeus has banged so many hoes on Earth, no offense, that like he has so many sons. We could create like thousands of different animes about his sons going through whatever the hell they got to go through, so I mean. And this one's just about two of them that fight each other.
It's kind of a copy and paste, but it does the twins, one of them. So like he already kind of pretty much covered the plot. It's about Zeus, Zeus's son. The main character is Zeus's son, but Zeus is a pretty very reoccurring character of the show because it's about Zeus's problem. We all know Zeus's problem. He can't keep his godly thing to himself. So he creates a situation, and we follow the son and how he has to maneuver that situation and deal with Zeus's problem as well. But like you said, eventually he proves himself, and it's a Hercules, it's a Perseus movie, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good animation. The plot, it's not bad. It doesn't leave holes. How it's resolved and the overall antagonist left a lot to be desired, but it started really well. And if they had a season 2, I would watch it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely one that I would definitely continue to watch because even though, like I said, it is a copy and paste, I still like the copy and paste. That's what isekais are. That's what, every other most Demon King animes are. They're all copy and paste. They just follow different characters, and maybe, you know, definition of insanity, right? Like, yeah, like expecting different results. But I still like the anime. I mean, it's still really good.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably why
I will say there are some original ideas though on Netflix that I'm really enjoying, because they don't follow the shonen basis or the copy and paste basis of like the shonen MC, right? And a good one is definitely Eden Zero. I don't know if you've ever watched Eden Zero.
No, it looked like
Yeah.
Fairy Tale, and
No,
I was like,
so it has a taste, I'll say, of Fairy Tale in it,
I think
but it
it's
is
the same writer.
so much better. I don't
think
know
it's
about
like
the
the
I don't know about the
Okay.
writer, but it's a little longer. It's a little longer than these 1 or 2 seasoner animes. I will say when I talk about, you know, if you love something or you really like something, you have to say something negative about it because you can't just, you know, be diehard for it. Not the anime itself, but the way Netflix is coming out with this anime, just like they're doing with Shaman King, which I won't talk about Shaman King because it's like there, but it's not there. They're coming out not with like a season at a time. They're coming out with like a couple episodes at a time in like a week, and then like they'll wait like 2 months and then come out with like 10 episodes, and then they'll wait like a week and then come out with 2 episodes. It's really weird, but the anime is really good, and it really, so it follows the MC, their main character. It follows, he's essentially raised on this planet of robots. So this planet is like all robots, robot society, everything. And his grandfather, quote, you know, air quotes, because it can't be his real grandfather, is like he's the Demon King. He's the Demon Robot King or whatever the fuck, you know, he's feared among the galaxy, so on and so forth. He used to have a ship called the Eden Zero. And he used to pirate the whole galaxy, right? Like Treasure Island or whatever the fuck that Disney movie's called. Treasure Planet, whatever. And he used to pretty much pirate the whole galaxy, raise the kid. Well, he essentially ends up dying, and in order for the main character to leave, because he never wanted to leave, even though his grandfather wanted him to become the new Demon King, because it's like his, you know, his birthright, right? The robots start kind of doing like the whole like, get out of here, girl, get out of here, we don't want you here, like kind of thing to kind of get him to leave because he's still a kid. He ends up leaving. He ends up going on just these adventures of this like entire galaxy that he never knew was out here. All these planets he never knew was out here. He's a really good mechanic. And then he figures out there's only one way in order for him to get his wish. And I won't tell you what the wish is. It isn't to be the Pirate King, I promise. But to get his one wish is to get to this place, and it's called the Mother. It's like the goddess of like Mother Earth or the goddess of the universe, whatever her name is. And that's for him to fully repair, fully restock, and fully get up in arms with the Eden Zero, the ship that his grandfather left. But the way he can do that is if he gets together all of the archangels that used to be his grandfather's right-hand women. They're like robots. They're like sentient. Think of like T-1000s from Terminator, like Liquid. You know, they're robots, but they're like really advanced, really like AI functioning. And he has to go to different. Yeah. So he has to go to different like parts of the universe to find each of these archangels, because each one controls a part of the ship. And without that archangel, he can't control that part of the ship. And so he finds them, so on and so. And it's kind of just boiling down to him finding them and kind of navigating the terrain and all the people who are like, oh my God, it's the Eden Zero, we're so afraid. But then finding out he's on board, not knowing he's the new Demon King. And then them being like, oh, we're not afraid of this kid. And then he wipes the floor with them, or wipes the stars with them, whatever. But he's a really dope kid. I mean, he's with this girl who, and it's kind of funny. So it's really funny because in the world, or in the kind of universe of this anime, it's kind of like how we would be in this universe or in our world, where this girl, she's like a blogger. So she has this like cube. Looks like a little Rubik's cube, but it's a camera, and she can turn it on and it floats like next to her. And I'm sure people who do like blogs and do TikToks would love this shit. But it floats next to her, and she vlogs her life, and she vlogs what she's doing. She's like a YouTube star. It's not called YouTube. It's called something else, obviously, for copyright reasons, but it's called something. But she's like this big YouTube star, and so she's like flying around with this Demon King, like recording everything that's going on with them, and like because she's trying to even make it bigger in the YouTube world or the vlogger content creator world. But pretty good. I mean, it's one of those, like, it's a little longer though. Like I said, I think if you really count it, there's a lot of episodes. I can't really say the seasons because the way Netflix is coming out with them, I think it's weird. And what I'm thinking is happening is the writers and creators are busy, or they're doing other things on top of Eden Zero, like their anime department. So they're like writing 10 episodes and they're like, hey, we really need to get on top of this next anime. They're like, okay, we'll hold off on this. And then they go and write something like Vampire in a Garden, right?
You have a whole storyline, huh?
Well, I'm that's what I'm just assuming, because I definitely looked up what Netflix does with their animes, and they have a department. So they have like an anime department where they only have a few writers and like people that they resource out to. So I'm thinking, and then they come back to do Eden Zero. They do like 2 episodes, and then they're like, oh, we need to do this Bubble movie. You know what I'm saying? And then they go and do the Bubble movie, and then they're like, fuck, well, we need to come back to Eden. You know,
they continue to knock it out the park.
Yeah. I mean, they do that with Shaman King too, and it kind of fucking bothers me. But I mean, if you were to watch it right now, it would take you a little bit to get to the ending right now. So it'd be a good time to start before they get their next, like, whatever portion, whatever 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes they come out with, that they decide to fucking come out with. But I think it's really good. It's a really good long, if you're trying to binge something on Netflix and you don't have Crunchyroll, or you don't have the sale or the websites that we sell the high seas on, I would say that's something to watch, not something that's going to take you a day and you're just gonna be like, I'm fucking bored. Like, this is something good to watch. So
yeah, I haven't ran into that. You know, I'm not a Netflix connoisseur.
Right.
I take other venues, so I haven't ran into any of the, oh, you only see a few episodes. So I'm sure if I ran into that, I would be pretty pissed, because I have the patience of a 3-year-old. Ask my son. My patience is less. But from what I've seen, the Netflix animes, they've done pretty well for a Netflix anime. Of course, you're still going to get that stigma. Oh, that's a Netflix original? I mean, maybe I'll check it out. But from what you suggested, I definitely want to check out that Bubble movie. Definitely watch that. My daughter, it sounds like that's something she would love to watch. So we'll check it. Oh, I definitely want to check out Castlevania too, because like I said, I always thought that was a chick flick. I thought it was a chick flick.
Oh no!
My wife loved it. I thought it was a chick flick. But that Carol and Tuesday, if like I said, if you love music, then I would definitely suggest you check that one out as well. But honestly,
and if you guys have any, suggestions or anything you want us to watch on Netflix that maybe I haven't seen, like I was telling David earlier, I've probably seen every single Netflix original anime, because that was kind of what I started out with. Not that I didn't like anime before Netflix was a thing, but I never really got into Crunchyroll or Funimation or anything like that until, I was introduced to it. So I started out on Netflix. So I've been following a lot of the animation on Netflix. So but that's pretty much it with my list on some of the top Netflix animes that I think everybody should definitely check out, especially if you're a new anime watcher. These are ones to really get you into it, because it's not like Oni-chan, they're animated, and you can watch them in Japanese, and they have good. So like you can tell the difference between anime and just like Castlevania or Dota having the Young Justice type animation, like Young Justice League type animation. And I think it's really those type of shows are really good. But other than that, that's it for me.
Okay. Is there anything that you are looking forward to? Any titles maybe coming to Netflix or other platforms?
No, so I don't know if you don't know, the new Chainsaw Man trailer came out. I think it was last week.
I was going to bring that one up too. Chainsaw Man.
It looks really good. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. But for Netflix, I will say there isn't much that I'm looking forward to, except for the continuation of the anime that they already have out. I know they're saying they're going to be releasing a few titles here soon for new anime. I kind of wish some of these companies would kind of just finish what the fuck they got going on. Because I think if they put their time and energy into what they already have, it could be really, really good. But I also know that Netflix is starting to kind of draw back their anime and starting to cancel a lot of titles and do their weird whatever was going on TikTok and Twitter and like all these places that are talking about Netflix is revamping their whole like subscription stuff, and so they're deleting a lot of shit. Hopefully they don't delete the shows that I like, but if they do, I suggest all you guys and you, David, I suggest you go and watch some of these animes before they go away. I'm assuming you'll be able to go online and sail the high seas like we do and find them somewhere, but you know, other than that, I mean, that's pretty what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, continuing some of these shows.
I know you're also looking forward to Bleach. What was that, 1,000 Year or something like that?
1,000 Year Blood War or something. Yeah.
Bleach fan, but I'm going to check it out. Obviously, it's a new title.
Oh yeah.
I definitely agree with that. They need to finish these titles. I'm looking forward to whenever Mushoku Tyson next season comes out. Slime or reincarnated as a slime. There's a lot of animes that, and I hope they don't do what they used to do in the past. In the past, it used to be 5, 6, 7 years before the second season or the third season.
Oh yeah.
But recently they've been doing so well with animes coming out the next year or maybe 2 years later, and I'm not mad at that. Maybe what was that? Demon Slayer probably had the longest one, like 3 or 4 years, a movie, and then another 2 years. So a lot of anime's been doing a lot better when it comes to consistently putting out next seasons. So I agree with that same sentiment. I don't want a new anime. I want you to finish the seasons or the anime that I
what you started.
Watch. I like those. Let's finish those.
Oh yeah.
But no, I'm looking forward to that Chainsaw Man title as well. I haven't read it. I know a lot of people who have read it, who love it, who definitely say, hey, once this is animated, I want to see it. So I'm excited to see it as well. But I'm also going to look for that Bleach title once it comes out. I'm not a big Bleach fan, but it's part of the big three. And if it's part of the big three, it's with Naruto, is with One Piece. Hey, maybe it's good too. But no, it's been a good chat or good. What do we call this? Show today?
Yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Thank you everybody for watching. Be sure to check out our past episode. We were talking about Were They Wrong? Come over to YouTube, give us a like, subscribe, comment, do whatever. Our podcast is just going to continue to grow. Like I talked about, I just got these monitors. I'm going to get a PC. We're going to make this a lot better for you guys. So the audio can get better. The video can get better. We're progressing, right? So be sure to go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, like us there, support, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Just show us some support. But everybody have a good day.
Peace.